Hello world, welcome to TOC. My name is Abhishek Rajan. Today in this lecture we will see how to reverse a linked list. So we are going to use iterative approach, and so this is a singly linked list. As we can see, this is a singly linked list and it has got 5 nodes. So when we reverse this, what is going to happen in each step? So the next pointer field of 20, it is going to hold the address of node which is having value 10. So this is going to become like this. Like this, the next pointer field of node which has the value 30 is going to hold the address of its previous node. Like this, the node which has the value 40, the next pointer field of that node is going to hold the address of its previous node. And the node which has the value 50, the next pointer field of that node is going to hold the address of previous node. Up till now it was happening, right? But eventually what is going to happen, our linked list is going to be reversed. And what we have to do finally, we need to take care of one thing. We have to update the next pointer field of node which has the value 10 as null, right? So this has been reversed. This is what we have to do in this reversal process, right? So there is one fundamental which is going to be used heavily here. So what is this node? This node is a single unit of memory, and this node is having two fields. One is the info field and one is the next pointer field, and these two fields are going to be declared programmatically as a variable. So what is a variable? A variable v is let's say if a variable is v, so when we update some value in this variable, it is going to, and next in the next time, if we update this variable with some other value, the previous value is going to be lost. So what is going to happen? So let's say we have a node which has the value 100, and if it is going to point a node which has the value 200. So if it is initially pointing to this, so if we have another node which has the value 300, and if this node is going to point this, so this is going to be lost. We will not be able to track this node. So before updating this value, before updating the next pointer field of this node, we need to store the address of this node somewhere. Let's say this is a temp. Let's say this is variable a and this is temp. So in this temp, what we can do, a dot next, we can update it by a dot next, so we can track this node as t. And in the C language, what we have to do, in the C language, what we have to do, a arrow next we can do to update the temp variable with the next pointer field of a. So this should be clear now. So fine. So let's come to this example. So let us take one example from here. So let's say this is the node. These are the nodes which we have to reverse. So if it is the start pointer, and if we have to reverse this, so as we can see, this node should be updated by null value. So definitely here should be a variable which should have the value null. So if it has null, so this should point this, only then it will be having this node is going to, this next pointer field of this node is going to hold value null. But when we update this, initially it was pointing to this node, so when we update this, this is going to be lost, right? So before updating this field, before this is going to point this, we need to store the address of this node somewhere, because this is the node which is connected to the complete list, right? So this the address of this node is going to matter a lot for us. Fine. So let's take name of this variable as second. So we saw that initially we need to update second, with next pointer field of start dot next. Further, what we have to do this was the first step. Second step, what we have to do, we have to update next pointer field of start with previous. So next pointer field of start, so the second point is next pointer field of start should be updated by previous. So start dot next should be updated by previous. So if we will do this in the next iteration, it will be continued. So let us start our iteration from here. So in the first iteration, what we have to do, in previous there will be a value null, and this is the start. This is the first iteration. So this is the start, and this is the second pointer. So what we have to do first, we have to, so this was the linked list. This was the linked list. So this was the linked list. So first we have to update second. So this has been updated. First we have to update second. So this has been updated. And what we have to do, we have to update the next pointer field of start with this. So this is going to point this, and this is lost. So in the first iteration, it happens like this. So further, what we have to do, further previous is going to point this, and start is going to point this, right? So what we have to do, previous is going to point this, previous is going to point start, okay, and start is going to point the node which was pointing by second earlier. So what we have to do, start is equal to second. Up till now this has happened. So in this should be the third step, this should be fourth step. So what is going to happen now? What is going to happen now? This is going to be previous, and this is going to be start, and what is going to happen? This is going to be like this, this is going to be like this is going to be like this, right? Right, and this is going to hold null. So what we have to do, so in this when the iteration starts, start is going to hold the second is going to hold the next pointer field of start, that is second is going to point this, right? And when second is going to point this, we will store the address of previous in start next pointer field. So this is what it says. So what we have to do, this is going to point this, right? This is going to point this. Let me change the color so that it will be understandable. This is going to point this. So if this is going to point this will be lost, right? So this has been lost, and in the next, this was the previous iteration, and this was the current iteration, meaning second iteration. So this has been lost. Now what is going to happen, in the next iteration, this previous is going to become here, and start is going to become here, right? So what is going to happen for the next iteration, but this is going to these steps are going to covered in the current iteration itself, right? So previous is going to come here, and start is going to come here, and the linked list is like this, and this is null, right? So what is going to happen now, first in the first step, what we have to do, we have to update the second variable. So second is going to point this, and this is going to point this, right? This is going to point this, so this will be lost, right? So this was for the third iteration. So in the next iteration, what is going to happen, previous is going to point this, and the start is going to point this, right? For the next iteration, we are preparing this in the current iteration itself. Now let's change the color so that it will be understandable. Now what is going to happen, this will be pointing like this will be pointing like this is lost, and this is connected by this, and this is going to be our previous, and this is going to be start. So when the iteration starts, so this is going to be second, so this is going to be second, and what we have to do, we have to update the next pointer field of start with previous. Fine. So in the next iteration, what is going to happen, previous is going to come here, and start is going to come here, and second is, what will happen with second, we will see in the next iteration. So this is going to prepare in the previous iteration, current iteration itself, right? So in the fifth iteration, let's change the color so that it will be visible. So this is previous, This is a start. So what is going to happen? Second is going to hold null, because 50, next pointer field of 50 is holding the value, is holding a variable which is which has the value null. So second is going to hold null, right? Second is going to hold null. I can say that null. So what is going to happen this time? It was pointing this, it was pointing this, and this is going to hold, sorry, right? So this is pointing this, and this is disconnected now. So this is going to hold the address of node which has the value 40. So now what is going to happen? Start is going to hold null now. Start is going to hold null as the first statement. Start is going to hold null now, and previous is going to point this. So what is going to happen in this next iteration? It is going to be reversed. So as we can see, the linked list has been reversed. So when start is going to become null, this loop should be stopped, right? So what we have to do, this should be repeated while, this should be repeated while start is not null. Start is not null. So this was the fundamental of reversing a linked list. I think this logic is quite clear to all of you. So now let's write the code for reversing the linked list in Python. So I have already created the Python code here for creation of a linked list and printing the linked list. So let's run this code and let's see what happens. So we have a linked list of having nodes which has values 10, 20, 30 and 40. For 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So we need to incorporate the code for the reversal of linked list. So before printing this linked list, I'm going to call this function on operate instance, and operate is the instance of linked list operation. So in this class, we need to write the code for reversal of the linked list. So I'm going to call that on operate reverse list, and in here I'm passing the start pointer, and as we can see here, this is the newly reversed linked list, and this is the reversed linked list, and this is the new start of the reversed linked list, which is pointed by previous. So from the function where we are writing the logic for reversing the linked list, from that function we need to return previous pointer, and that should be updated as a new start in start variable. So now we need to write the logic here, write the code here. So I came here and I'm starting with def, name of the function, self will be there, and I'm taking the start variable. All right. Now we need to iterate until while is not null, until start is not null. So while start is not none, and in here what we have to do, we need to first we need to update the second pointer, right? Second variable. So second should be updated by start dot next, right? And then start dot next should be updated by previous, but we don't have previous yet. So let's take here previous equals none. Now what we have to do, previous is going to become start is going to become previous now. Start is going to become previous now, so previous is going to start. Second is going to become start now. Second is going to become start now. Fine. And from here we need to return previous pointer. That's it. So now let's run this code and let's see what happens. So as we can see, it has been reversed, right? So this was all about reversing the linked list, and we have done it. So I think you have understood the fundamentals. So please like my video, please subscribe my channel, please share with your friends, and please click on the bell icon so that you can get the future notifications. Thanks, gentlemen, for watching my video. Bye bye.